Think you've seen every isekai anime worth watching? Think again. While titles like Sword Art Online and ReZero dominate the spotlight, there's a whole world of underrated isekai gems that most fans completely overlook. From mind-bending plot twists to refreshing takes on the genre, these hidden treasures deserve way more attention. So if you're tired of the same recycled tropes and craving something unique, you're in for a treat. In this video, we're counting down the top 10 underrated isekai animes you might have missed. Let's dive right in. Chilling in another world with level 2 super cheat powers. When a modest merchant named Banaza is sent to the magical realm of Clyrode in another world, the residents hope he will become a hero capable of defeating the threatening Dark Army. Unfortunately, Banaza does not obtain any remarkable powers at level 1, as hero aspirants typically do, and he has no way to return to his previous world. As restitution, he is sent to live in a remote jungle. When Banaza arrives, he levels up once and obtains boundless powers, which he has no idea how to use. To avoid drawing notice, Banaza alters his looks and adopts the name Flio. While away from home, he comes across a young demi-human girl named Fenris, who appears to be looking for the same forest Flio was banished to. However, she attacks him and reveals her actual identity, a Lupin demon. Fortunately, Philo's unequaled magic overcomes Fenris, and she vows unwavering loyalty to him. Flio, on the other hand, refuses to exert control over her. Instead, the two pretend to be married and establish a new life together. Otaku Elf. For over 400 years, Tokyo's Takamimi Shrine has enshrined the local goddess, Elda, a magical elf summoned from another planet. The family, which called the Eternal Elf, has served her for 15 generations since the Edo period. This burden will now rest on Koido Kagane once she reaches the age of 16. Koido, Elda's shrine maiden, must reconcile her responsibilities with her regular school life. This proves problematic because Elda is a complete social recluse who enjoys video games, collecting toys, and snacking. In order to get the lethargic shut-in to see more of the outside world, Koido divides her time between indulging Elda's varied hobbies and interacting with the rest of humanity. Along the trip, Koido learns about the area's history and why the goddess is so beloved and indulged by the residents. Ishura. The power vacuum created by the Demon King's death has disrupted the world's balance. Eager to seize this power, self-proclaimed demon kings from many planets gather in the new principality of Lithia to compete. Among them, Master Swordsman Sujiri Yagyu aspires to this desired position for himself. Sujiri joins Lithia with Tuikajism no Yuno, a little girl he rescued from an army of golems that had destroyed her city, to fight for the championship. At the same time, the leaders of the Oriatia Kingdom attempt to destabilize Lithia by deploying bandits against merchant convoys passing through the principality. Enraged, Imishime of Terran, the founder of Lithia and a defector from Oriatia, sent the wicked thief Kasasagi no Dakai to investigate the source of these attacks. With war on the verge of erupting, no one knows what impact the competitors for the Demon King's throne will have on the upcoming conflict. Loner life in another world. Haruka, a high school student, has always been a content loner. One day, he and his classmates are unexpectedly transported to another world and given skill points to choose from a variety of abilities and magical powers. Unfortunately, Haruka arrives last, and he can only utilize his points on obviously ridiculous skills that the others are not interested in. Although he is back on his own and must acclimate to his new existence alone, he enjoys it that way. Haruka's pleasant alone is short-lived, as he runs into several of his classmates. Weak to their appeals for help, he ends up sheltering and assisting them in reuniting with the others. However, the many cliques are unable to see eye to eye, prompting Haruka to find a solution to cease the infighting and restore unity in order to thrive in the foreign world. Demon Spirit Seed Manual. On his way to a conference, Yuan Ding, an otaku, is transported to another world, a fantasy world full with magic and demons. After failing the entrance exam at Shoyu Academy, he decides to become a gardener and learns about the fairy seed. Yuan Ding's journey into another realm begins, with the goal of collecting the fairies mentioned in stories in order to change his fate and become the protagonist of this new universe. the Weakest Tamer began a journey to pick up trash. Thamisha was born into a loving family and appears to have a promising future ahead of her. When she reaches the age of 5, it is time for her skills to be evaluated at the church. However, while she does obtain a monster tamer skill, it turns out that Thamisha has no points for it. To make matters worse, society regards persons with 0 stars as portents of doom. As a result, Thamisha is shunned by everyone, including her family. Thamisha is eventually chased out of her tribe and is continually on the run. Fearing for her life, she chooses to disguise herself as a guy and take the name Ivy. With a fortune teller's goal of reaching the royal palace, Ivy encounters and successfully tames a slime, sparking an odd partnership that may provide a method to achieve her destiny. No longer allowed in another world. Just as the famed writer Sensei is about to complete his life goal of committing double suicide with his sweetheart Sak-chan, he is struck by a truck and transferred to another dimension. Annette, the local priestess, considers Sensei to be an adventurer and assigns him the difficult task of killing the Demon King. Refusing to play into his new role, Sensei determines that his energies would be better spent hunting for Sak-chan in the hopes that she is somewhere in this new world. Early in his quest, Sensei meets martial artist Tama and surprisingly saves her from certain death. Tama, grateful for his acts, agrees to accompany him. Annette, charmed by the writer's strong personality, quickly joins the group and swears to safeguard Sensei's life. As the unlikely trio travels across the perilous, monster-infested countries, they quickly understand that humans may be the main threats to global peace. And Sensei may be the only one with the capacity to stop them. Headhunted to another world. From Salaryman to Big 4. Dennis Uchimura is your typical salaryman attempting to climb the corporate ladder. But suddenly the demon overlord summons him to a horrific fantasy world, where he offers him a new career as one of the heavenly kings in his army, complete with full benefits. Uchimura may lack muscle and magic, but he possesses the abilities and savvy of an office worker. Will these be enough to keep him alive? Rift. The unstable energies of the present world and an alternate dimension have ripped open a breach in time and space. It is the only way monsters from the parallel realm can infiltrate the world. To stop the invading monsters, a group of chosen individuals step forward to fight and defend the world at the rift. Failure Frame. When Loner Tokamamori is summoned to another realm with his classmates, he has the ability to inflict status diseases on his opponents, such as paralysis or poison. Unfortunately for him, skills of this sort are seen as useless due to their poor success rate, and Tuke is consequently given the moniker of E-rank hero. Things take a turn for the worse when Vicious, the goddess who summoned the class, explains that the lowest ranked hero will be eliminated so that they do not hinder those with higher potential. Banished to a famously deadly place, Tuka faces death after being cornered by a minotaur-like beast. In a desperate bid to survive, he employs his seemingly useless skill, only to discover that it works almost every time. Tuka, armed with the ability to render the monsters in his path entirely impotent, determines to seek down the goddess, who cast him aside and exact his revenge. So these were the top 10 underrated Isekai animes you might have missed. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon so that you don't miss any videos like this in the future. I'll see you in the next one.